Darkwood. I know what you're all thinking. That's what I call my cup. Horror is something that fascinates me. From movies, ARGs, manga, or games. I'd go so far as to even say that horror is my favorite genre, if it's done right. And games are the biggest contributor to garbage horror. Except Bollywood horror, but that doesn't count because I unironically love that shit. Bollywood horror is such a fucking wild ride. I could talk about it all day, but that's a topic for another day. Horror as a genre is doomed. Nothing will ever be true horror. The feeling of horror for me comes from true danger. Like when you go to the basement and you see a figure stand at the window. But when you turn the lights on, it's just a raccoon or some shit. The reason why you were afraid is because there was a very real possibility that there really was someone there. Realism is what makes true horror. So with that in mind, you would think that games, a medium that offers the most immersion because you're directly controlling the character, would provide the best horror, right? Horror games are boring as fuck now. It's devolved to a point where a giant big booba lady that has the entire internet horny is considered horror. But every now and then, you find a diamond through the garbage. And that, for me, is Darkwood and Bollywood, but that's a different side of the same coin, honestly. I personally am a goddamn Chad. I don't get scared. Meanwhile, my friends screams at a Thai rat. You know who you are. I went into this game with no expectations and knowing nothing. I had like $20ish on my account and it was on sale with good reviews, so I was like, alright, fuck it, I'll buy it. I have nothing else to play. But little did I know that it would become one of my favorites. The best horror for me is not jump scares, but unsettling imagery and setting with danger. That's exactly what Darkwood is all about. At its core, it's survival horror. And let me tell you, it doesn't fuck around. You have to be smart, get resources every day and survive. Exploring is the only way you'll progress and survive in this game. That's exactly why it's so scary, because you have no idea what you're going to see out there. The strongest emotion in man is fear, and the biggest fear is the fear of the unknown. That fear of the unknown is one thing that makes this game so fucking exhilarating. You lose a lot of progress when you die. It's unforgiving and you have no idea what you'll encounter out there. It might be a normal tree man, a monster, a fucking moose, or this thing. And every encounter could easily mean death. Even when you have guns, you don't feel safe at all. Poisonous mushrooms, bear traps, dogs, and a fucking creeper. Yes, they ripped off Minecraft. Not knowing what horror awaits you outside or at night keeps you on edge every time. But it rewards you just as much for exploring everything. You need gas, wood, nails every night to survive. Without them, you will die, which makes it hard to avoid exploring. But if you go out of your comfort zone and explore even more, it rewards you with guns, torches, molotovs, food, extra stuff that will make your life a little easier. It's like walking a constant tightrope of rewards and danger of the unknown. You don't know if going inside the house will greet you with dozens of monsters or just a dog. But you also don't know if that house is going to have a fucking AK-47 or just gas. It makes you constantly second guess whether you want to risk your life or not. The world is so nightmarish not only in its immediate danger, but also in this fucking setting of that threat. But the threat of the unknown isn't the only thing that gets my spine tingling. It's the eerie characters and the world you're introduced to. These character designs are fucking awesome. Even the most wholesome characters become monstrous amalgamations. The world responds to your actions. The characters give you choices and always make you regret choosing the immoral options. In a world this dangerous, you can easily imagine these characters existing in them. The trader, the musician, both of them you come to like, but they're both just so fucking lovably disgusting. Why do you look like the product of sex between a 40-year-old virgin and a baseball? Each of these characters have quests that you can do, and most of them end up dying. This wolfman wants you to bring him the monster girl so he can eat her. The music boy wants you to bring him the monster girl so he can fuck her. This guy wants to build a fucking rocket ship from tractor parts, and this old man just wants to watch the world burn. There's a fucking literal mushroom granny. That's just a character name. I didn't know Snoop Dogg existed in this world. If I lived in this world, I would probably be a weirdo as well. Probably like wanna fuck a sheep or something, I don't know. This is goofy on its own, right? But when you combine it with the setting and imagery, To me, the best horror is what makes you unsettled. Something that makes you feel uncomfortable, like there's something wrong and you can only do that with setting. But what complements it even better is to have horrifying imagery along with it. Like when you're exploring a barn and you hear some weird noises, but there's no light. So when you turn the light on, or when you're alone at night, pitch dark, following nothing but some shiny stones, you come up on a lamp, finally some light, you turn it on and there's countless examples of this. The Hole Man, yes, there's a character named Hole Man. You never see him, except one day you accidentally walk in on him, and this is horror. As much as I love me, my big booba lady, it just doesn't get me scared. It's very hard to balance horror when you give the player weapons, but in this, having weapons scares you even more. Not knowing what the fuck you're going to encounter out there, having some disturbing characters within a terrifying world, and really good setting with horrifying imagery. You could give me a fucking nuclear bomb and I would still be terrified. Whereas even if I have nothing but a knife in, let's say, Resident Evil, I would still challenge the boss and feel nothing. So basically, to sum it all up, I'm a Chad that enjoys good horror, while there's people out there screaming at Five Nights at Freddy's. It's good shit, you'll know if you play.